People, I hate to say it, this was a very good episode of Star Trek Lower Decks. If you want to see the full review of the season finale, then please stay tuned. OMG, guys, let's get into the spoiler-free reviews, which is going to be short. I have to say that this was a phenomenal season finale of Star Trek Lower Decks Season 1, Episode 10, No Small Parts. OMG. I have to say this was really good. Spoiler-free thoughts was real good. The tempo was good. The acting, the characters, everything was good. Even seeing some original TNG characters coming to pass. We even get to see Riker's new first command as captain. Like, really? Like, what? But I kid you not, this was really good, and that's my spoiler for thoughts, is that I like everything about it. Acting was good overall. It brought a good tempo to it. We get to see everything that happened. So let's get into this and we'll see what happens. If you haven't seen the episode, please pause right here. Go watch it, come back, and let's discuss it. OMG, guys. So we see it start off with the Salvang, right? One of the California class ships, which is the USS Cerritos. A sister ship of the Cerritos. And the captain's there trying to keep everything like she just came out of dry dock and brand new, because she misses her old ship and she wants everything brand new. So then the ship comes up and we see this guy talking, calling it the Enterprise, which is not the Enterprise. Saying, oh, Enterprise, Enterprise this, Enterprise that, blah, 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 blah. And we see them attack the Salvang and destroy her and take her parts. Meanwhile, a distress call comes out and Freeman on the Cerritos decides to take it, but the Titan was the closest ship. But she's like, no, we're going to take it. Let's go. So they go. And we see the most tense in all the Star Trek I have ever even seen tensify. Yet, like, it was like action-packed. And it was damn good. And all of a sudden, we see all this come to pass with the Packlids saying Enterprise, thinking she's the Enterprise. Meanwhile, they're boarding the ship, being so upholding of themselves, thinking like they can do all this and that and all this bullshit. And it's like, really, dude, like, you think you can do all this shit, but yet, you know, Packlids are stupid. But they had, like, all these ship parts from, like, 30 different member races. And they're trying to take this. And they're trying to, take the Cerritos and do everything they can to the Cerritos to take the Cerritos, right? That they wanted to take the Cerritos and use her parts. So they're stripping the Cerritos. Meanwhile, Mariner's trying to be this, like, Boimler because she wants to get promoted because, you know, this and that. But in the beginning, I forgot to mention that they're on this planet that Kirk went down there worshipping the computer, and Carol Freeman is trying to stop them from worshipping the computer. And she's giving away stuff, and meanwhile Boimler's talking, not realizing his comm badge is on, and finds out and spits it out, saying, "Hey, I actually know that Carol Freeman's your mama," and that pisses her off, and she wants to get off the Cerritos. And that's in the beginning, right before the credits and shit. the opening. So let's get back into the bread and butter of this. So she gives away art supplies too. I forgot to mention that. But when we see the Pac-Lads attacking the Cerritos, tearing it apart, they rip up and beat the Cerritos up. And the Cerritos get speed up. And meanwhile, Carol gets seriously injured and she's sitting there because they had to drag her to sickbay. And the exocomp had came on board, said Peanut Brittle or Peanut whatever her name was, but she beamed out because she said, I'm not doing this. And Tindy had to follow her around. She was doing all these surgeries and shit, but yeah. So then they left. She beamed off, saying, I'm not carrying a fucking virus. And Rutherford had to upload the virus to his implant and pull off of the virus. And Shax takes him to the Pac-Led ship to try and stop the Pac-Leds because the Pac-Leds were boarding the ship. And while Carol Freeman, before she got to sickbay, she found out that her daughter, Beckett Mariner, was actually holding contraband, and that saved the ship. And she knew that, that saved them right there and then. And they're fighting, and Shax is fighting, going ba 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 ba. And it was like they were fighting and all this shit. And you see them fighting here and there, and it's like, what? And they're tearing up the Cerritos, but then Rutherford downloads the virus, and Shax tears off his implant and throws him into the shuttle and pushes the shuttle away, and the ship blows up and Shax dies. And then we see the Cerritos at the starbase because Mariner's taking control. She's going to go to starbase anyway, right, to get repairs, because that's a no-brainer, but this is what happened. That Beckett Mariner, she took control. And then here we see warping in the USS Titan Luna-class starship. Luna-class starship. And William T. Riker comes in there and starts beating the hell out of them. And they ended up leaving. And they start talking and shit. And Mariner comes back to be this badass that everybody knows. And that was it. So now they're over there at the starbase getting repairs, right? And Carol's like, no, I want everything the way it was. I don't want nothing changed on her. Meanwhile, Brad Boimler accepts promotion to be on the Titan. And we see him wearing the Nemesis, the uniforms from Nemesis. But this time he's a lieutenant. Lieutenant junior grade. A solid pip and a half solid pip. And the crew's like, we gotta do this, and that. We gotta go take Deanna Troi down. And Troy's over there talking to Ransom. And it's like, really? They had the guy playing Riker and the woman, Marina Sirtis, playing Deanna Troi in there. And this is what, it was like so bad, so fucking crazy. I'm like, really, 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 are you serious? I'm like, alright, come on now. This was a good episode. Fun as hell. And then we see the characters like that, and then Mariner gets pissed and starts calling Brad, saying, you shouldn't have done that. Da, 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 da. And he's over there saying, where do you want to go? And they're going to Dalgana. And yeah, he's telling them, I know the Andorian bar, I know this and that. And now he's on the Titan. Now we don't know what's going to happen to him. We don't know. We don't know all that. But now he's on the Titan. And now we see that Riker's going like jazzy and stuff like that. Oh my god, it was a treat. Seeing the Luna-class starship, USS Titan, Riker's first command. Well, that's not his first command, though. I mean, he's commanded the Enterprise, been ranked up to captain several times, but this is his first ship that he got. And it's a Luna-class USS Titan. And then they said that he had all this ale, all this shit, and the Marina's like, Deanna's like, oh, we're going to talk about that. Like, really? It was a treat to see them. It was a treat to see them. I liked how in the episode where Mariner gets upset because Brad transfers and then Rutherford's trying to remember everything, friendship-wise because his implant is gone. And he has to come together with Tandy to get his memory back. It's like you get all this and that, and then in the end, like right there towards the end, we see them having a funeral for Shax. And then now Carol's like, I gotta find somebody who's like Shax, who wants to be that badass security officer and let him be with the prophets. Like you really good episode. I kind of liked it when Mariner went to be like more like Brad, but then she turned into a total badass. And you know how she got to save the Cerritos. And then we get to see Carol like telling her this and that I can't let you have those contraband. I'm gonna have to get you reprimanded. But then she's like, you know what? I'm gonna have to do this, this, and that. Let's do this. And she makes a pact deal with the captain, and now it's like, that was it. But it was really a treat to see all this come to pass, and then hearing the Titan coming. And I'm like, you know how in Star Trek series, some ships, well, this is how I see it, because we see the lower decks uniform, right? But then we see the Titan wearing the lower deck, not the lower deck, but the Nemesis uniforms. You know, the TNG movie uniforms. And aka like second uniform on DS9. And you know, let me tell you this, because some people are gonna get confused. Lower Decks is after TNG, no doubt. And then we see the what else do we see that I can tell you? This is what I see. Some ships will get the uniform first before everybody else. And everybody else will just have the old day uniforms. That's how Star Trek operates. They give the newer ships the newer uniforms. The newer ships get the newer uniforms, while the rest of the older ships and shit don't get the newer uniforms until later on. Because that's how Starfleet operates. Because they want to test out the new uniform and see how the newer people, like, you know, how they like it and how it fits well. Then they'll give it to everybody else in the fleet. That's how it is. If you're all confused about that. But it was really sad seeing that Shax had to die. But we did get to see Ransom's room. Like, he got all these weights and stuff. He's a buff son of a you-know-what. Like, really badass. And I kid you not, losing Shax was like, aw, so bad. Like, he had to die. That's sad when you see somebody had to die like that for a greater good cause. But can't wait until the next season of Lower Decks. Guys, if you haven't noticed already, mark it on your calendars. Star Trek Discovery Season 3 is coming on October 15th. They just announced it on the Lower Decks episode. So if you are excited about that, let me know. Tell me what your thoughts is going to be about Season 3. When Season 3 comes out, I'll do reviews on that. I haven't done the reviews on Season 1 or Season 2 of Discovery, but I will try to do Season 3 reviews if I can. If I can't, then I'm sorry, guys. But let me tell you what, I am excited and stoked to see Season 3 of Discovery. And let me know what your thoughts are on this episode of Star Trek Lower Decks, Episode 10, No Small Parts, and I'll see you in the next video. Please subscribe if you're new, and hit the notification bell so you will not miss a new video.